Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Elden Ring. So as you all know, I love fashion souls a lot. I spend a lot of time putting outfits together, and when I do, I usually look for qualities like, does this look nice? Does this look cool? Lately though, I've been obsessed with something else because of Dead by Daylight, a game in which I have a menagerie of what I like to call my creatures. In other words,
aesthetic terrorism.
So that's what we have today. We have anti-fashion souls. We're growing mushrooms, we have a fancy lad hat, and no pants. Pants weigh us down in body and spirit, but we do have some fancy shoes. And I'm sure this will offer a great deal of protection for us today as we move through Crumbling Farum Azula. Oh, we can see the Erd tree that we burned last time, smoldering in the distance, right next to this giant tornado. One of many twisters, making this my phobia zone. It's okay though, it'll provide me a little bit of exposure therapy. In fairness, the very first time I went through here, I was a lot more anxious. Whoops. I believe that's just a smithing stone or something. There are actually, not that many important items to find here in Crumbling Farum Azula. By the way, this is not really a zone. This is not a full zone like the mountaintops or Limgrave were. This is our very final legacy dungeon. And once we drop down here and make our way through these two joining chambers, we'll actually have our first grace inside Farum Azula. Worth noting that the Beastmen here... Ooh, I did get that one. The Beastmen here do not aggro except this one that I'm locked onto who patrols around. They don't aggro unless attacked. Or, I think, unless you go and take this item that one is looking at. All that is an old fang or a beast fang or something, though, so there's no need to piss him off. Now, this one, I think he does aggro once you engage this guy. Let's see. Yep. A moment to get out of the way. Oh, we jumped over that. Beautiful. Yeah, lots of small little piddling things like that. And something to watch for in Farum Azula. Nowhere to drop back there where the sign was, which I'm sure told you shortcut ahead or some shit. There are actually a lot of those types of drops that are not just designed to trick you into jumping to your death. There are so many spots where this dungeon loops back on itself with a drop that you probably aren't expecting to be there. It's very cool. And like big sections of the dungeon are linked that way too. I believe we'll be seeing this part again, but from an entirely different section of the dungeon. And then, once we get out here... Hi, friend. So I want to say he drops an ancient dragon smithing stone or an ancient somber one. But we are... good on those materials, to be honest. And we'll get more. And I don't feel like fighting that dragon, and he'll show up later, so... He showed up to be a nuisance, and we will treat him as a nuisance. So I believe there are two of them in this room. There's the other one! Oh my! Yeah, they do combo. It's not as bad as when we got here from the four belfries. my! Oh! No, it's absolutely fine. There is nothing to worry about at all. 1 HP is as good as 100%. Functionally no difference between 1 HP and 1 million. Living is a binary state. It's an on or an off switch. The enemies of Crumbling Farum Azula do not play around. They are as hard-hitting as anything you will find in the game, and some of them, especially the knights coming up, are particularly lethal. These ones can be controlled pretty easily, though. Yeah, this works. They're very easy to stun lock. The Banished Knights later on, not quite as simple. There are also some larger versions of the Beastmen, which I think also gonna have to be more careful with than just stun locking them to death. Especially with the whips. The whips don't do that easily. Okay, now instead of heading to the center of the room, I'm gonna come out. No, we'll do that later, because that's the elevator. Instead, we come back out here and then go through the arch and onto the roof. Because that lets us get to the floor above that room. And there's not too much up here. There is, however, this again. We saw this back at the Sanctum in Caelid, where we find Gronk. Find all sorts of things like that back here. Also, the exact same architecture. You see the architecture featured there everywhere here. Like the Beast Sanctum was part of Farum Azula. And we know that parts of Farum Azula are scattered all around the lands between. Oh, nice! I actually really like the moveset on this. Brave Glubwort. That's the main prize up here. I think there's something in the middle section here. But it's probably gravel. There's a lot of gravel in this dungeon. No, it's probably not that insignificant, but like Old Beastfang or something? Oh, Smithing Stone 6. That is the other thing that you find in abundance in this dungeon, are high-level smithing stones, both regular and somber. Also, we get like 3 or 4 different bell bearings in here, which includes pretty much all the remaining ones that we're missing. So after we are through here, we'll be able to buy all the smithing stones we need of every level of every variety. Except 10s. 10s never become available for purchase. But there are enough of them, again, somber and regular. Oops, forgot about the last one. To max a whole lot of weapons out, just on your first playthrough alone. Okay, he delays that second one quite a bit. Have the same bite attack as the dogs, I'm noticing. Oh, some of these flowy combos they do are so nice and graceful to watch. You put up an honorable fight, sir. That was a good duel. And for our efforts, we are rewarded with another spellbook, the Ancient Dragon Prayer Book. Prayer Book of the Ancient Dragons. Ancient Dragon Cult, Lost Tome, Never Reach Lands Between, contains red lightning incantations. Ancient Dragon's Lightning Spear and Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. Now the way forward, I believe, is back there. Where do I have this mixed up? Let me go out and touch this grace real quick before we take the elevator. Yeah, the way forward is out here, and then the elevator behind us will lead to a few optional things. Before I go to that elevator, in front of Grace is a Somber Stone Miner's Bell Bearing. The last Somber Stone Bell Bearing is from the mid-boss of the dungeon, which we're not that far from. Trying to see if I can notice anything in that relief, but it's a bit nondescript, at least to my eyes. Down we go. And nothing to jump off to. So this is one of the lowest areas in the dungeon. Oh, I don't like this platforming. Especially with my history. Extremely obvious that this boy's about to show back up. And make the platforming back slightly more stressful. Also to guarantee that you can't just teleport back to the Grace, you have to do the platforming. Alright, bye dragon. Keep showing up, and we keep leaving.
Hey!
We don't want to play with him. Go home. Be humble. Sit down, bitch. Be humble. And up there, we haven't seen one of those since Altus Plateau. That is, in fact, a Wormface. One of several. You can see a bunch more. Just chilling out, wallowing in the lake. And if you needed a refresher on what they do, there it is. They spew a lot of death blight around them. Oh. No, there's gonna be there's one around this tree, right? Yeah, because the item. They really want you to get caught by that. Oh no, oh shit. That's going to... Okay, I get out of this cloud pretty quick. Wait, he can spew the cloud up? Okay. Just don't do that a third time. Ooh, I was fully leaned forward in my seat. That made me nervous. Neutralizing? No. Rejuvenating. This is what we have boluses for. One of them by themselves up here, probably not too bad to take. However, oh, this is a very narrow area. It'll be fine. He can really choke the whole width of the bridge. What is that looking out towards? It looks like a waterfall. I think I see the Divine Towers. Yeah, that's multiple Divine Towers I see. Where does this line up to? What exactly am I looking out at? I love doing this. I just look at the ocean? Can't be. Looking towards Liurnia and the Divine Tower there. Ah! Down to this side, instead of taking the ladder there, we can just jump across this gap. Now, there is something a little bit odd about all the Wormfaces out here, including the giant one, leading the congregation. You see the symbol on the left pops up so we can summon. However, they're completely friendly, or at least non-hostile. Even after you take the big item, it's not like a ceaseless discharge where they wake up and start attacking you. So this actually lets us get a really good look at the Wormfaces and how grotesque they are, but also what's wrapped all around them. What I find particularly noteworthy are all these discs wrapped around them. And some more stones to pick up around them. They're just minding their business, so we'll just mind ours. As long as nothing's gonna jump out from around a corner, we don't have to cause any problems for them. It does beg the question, the Wormfaces that we saw on Altus Plateau, did they originate from Farum Azula? Or did some of them just live up here, amongst the dragons and the Beastmen? If so, they seem to be living up here in total peace and harmony. Some of them, anyway. But now that we have cleared this lower area out, we can teleport back up here to the grace just past where we found the prayer book and proceed on with the dungeon. So, let's double check back here. Okay. So there is this big floating rock ahead of us. Can't get onto that from here, jumping to it, so instead we jump down. Some skeletons we've seen before will come back to life, so we just stick around for a moment after bringing them down to whip the soul out of them. Really break their spirits. I got that one, right? Yeah. Slowly and steadily, so I don't get overwhelmed, because that is a big concern here. There are a lot of them. But they're slow and shambling, like a good zombie. So even though they all aggro pretty quick, they don't get to you very fast. Gives you time to clear them out methodically. Buddy, what are you doing with this crossbow? You are not supporting your friends properly. You're too lethargic with that thing, bud. Farum Azula does love making you make jumps. Human bone shards. We won't even have to buy somber smithing stones. We're gonna be loaded after this. So now this is the safe way down. There's also a jump you can make, which is a little dicey, but it's intended, so it's not like it's that... messy. So instead of engaging with any of them up there, we can fall through the hole, and we'll essentially come to the same place. Just with less stress. Oh, he got me through the corner? I don't like you. That was dirty. You did me wrong. Can't be doing that to me when I'm wearing no armor, basically. It hurts. Yeah, who knew that it would not be safe to run through an endgame dungeon wearing mushrooms as armor? Ill-advised. Ah, one of the big ones. Okay, these are a little bit harder to sunlock. And they also hit harder, so... Yeah, that didn't even flinch him. Whew. So even the jumping attacks are... Aw. Not the end-all be-all against them. Oh, no, no, no. Not letting you come back. We want to double tap and finish the job. This is really unnecessary to jump this way to get around here, but I like it. So now all there is to do is go down these stairs here and make this last fall. But if we had kept going the other way, instead we would have gone up there where there is a grace. And we can still get to that. Just takes a little bit of backtracking. I think it's from up here and on the left. There's a ledge we can follow over. Hey, here we are. And we'll even be back for that drop that we could have just made instead of backtracking. This is, we're backtracking right now because this will get us to the Grace. And a different section of the dungeon than what we would have experienced had we made that drop just now. Okay, so naturally this is going to be an ambush once you grab the item. Can the jumping attack reach? Dang. I need some throwing knives or something to knock them down real quick. Ignore the soporific grease and the sleep pots. Oh. Oh. Right between his legs? So we'll give you a little more distance so you can actually get hit. Oh yeah. Oh right. You're right. Thank you, my friend. And now the darts may go. Great Brave Glovewort. I think we also got the Great Ghost Glovewort. So now we can max out either type of Spirit Ashes, special or ordinary. And that gets us back to where we were. Where there is a big boy. But he doesn't have much ambition, does he? Oh, there he is. There's a second one. I was like, damn, I can't believe he didn't aggro. So instead of going to the lower drop, this time we can get to the Grace from here. Nothing on either side. I always tend to pay very careful attention to the edges in this dungeon, because like I said, there are so many different drops you can make that get you to cool places. And I can hear those greaves clanking behind me. It's a Banished Knight. We haven't seen one of these in a while. Banished Knights in Farum Azula are built different. Oh, that second part hit? Okay. They hit so hard, and they're very aggressive and mean. They are just nasty. They don't stagger particularly easily. And there are a lot of them. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, that's no good. He can fight through that stun lock. Boom. So locking them down is a little bit of an issue. Beefy, they're strong, their movesets are pretty formidable, and they're numerous. But from this balcony, we can see down into the coming boss arena. We can even jump into the boss arena from here. There are like 4 different entrances into the room, including that one. Reach. Ow. Okay. That slows him down. Oh, that actually works really well. Ah. And they are scary too. They're intimidating. Oh! No! You. We'll get back to you. So this is one of the other entrances into the boss room. You'll notice that you have to fight through or run past quite a few of those knights to get into this room from the Grace. Alternatively, you have to jump off a balcony, and I think you take a little bit of fall damage. I'm not 100% sure, but this game does like fall damage. Yeah, no more games. Not with y'all. Especially not with a dual wielder. You're getting jump attacked, and then you're getting jump attacked, and you're going to get followed up with a jump attack. And then for dessert, I'm going to bake a jump attack. Brush his teeth before going to bed at night with a jump attack. Wake up to a jump attack. Have breakfast and it's a jump attack. No more games with those. Fighting them the safe and boring way. Another one. And speaking of another one, another entrance to the boss room. Don't worry, that's only our third of, like, 4. We haven't even gotten to the one that we're actually going to use. That requires dropping down. It's really convenient because there is another Grace actually right next to the boss room that we can use instead of having to use the one that takes us through a bunch of Banished Knights. Because in addition to all of their other very scary qualities, they're also very good at chasing you down as you try to run past them. They're also somewhat good at hitting you through the boss fog. Ow! Only hitting him with one of the whips on those jump attacks, so let's reset. Get one more. Ooh, that wasn't enough. Oh, it's just barely not enough. Now I'm out of stamina, which is not good. But I knew I could make that trade in time. It was a very calculated risk. Before we can drop down to that last entrance into the boss room and actually do the boss, though, there's still a little bit more up here. Including previews of what is to come. That stone sword key, if we didn't have any, will actually come in handy. You can see the boss fog for the main boss of the area here and the road to it. Along with, if you look carefully, another tree sentinel. And it's one of the varieties we fought in front of Leyndell, the royal capital. The draconic tree sentinels. Yeah, that works pretty well. We got the armor, we got the greaves, I think I got the helmet. I'm pretty happy about all that. And we can also just do this. No fall damage. Oh, so jumping into the boss arena probably doesn't induce fall damage. Either way, it doesn't matter. We're going back to the Dragon Temple Grace now. And we're finally going to get to that lower bit, which we can just get to by jumping on the stairs here and then falling. And the Site of Grace is not immediate, but it'll be close enough to the boss that it makes a big, big difference. They actually pack a whole lot of Sites of Graces kind of right next to each other. But usually you need to do some platforming or some dropping or something to get from one to the other. So for as close together as they feel, they're actually all pretty convenient in their own ways to have. I like the layout of this dungeon. Some of it really confused me the first time around, but once you get used to looking out for the things that want you looking for to progress, like all of the specific crumbling structures that they want you to platform on to move forward, it's really cool. Should be able to hit both of them once they get a little bit closer and finish attacking, like this. Great, we got one. And now a one-on-one's no problem. Ish. As he clips me. Enough stamina for the finishing blow. Now, unless there is a third one ready to make this a nightmare, we can finally claim our prize of the Azula Beastmen ashes. Spirits of Beastmen from doomed Farum Azula, the slowly crumbling ruins in the skies. These ruins are said to be the remains of a giant mausoleum, enshrining an ancient dragon guarded by chosen beastmen who wield weapons clad in lightning. A giant mausoleum enshrining an ancient dragon. This is an ancient dragon civilization in an ancient dragon city. The Beastmen are worshippers and adherents, and peaceful denizens for the most part. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind. Also explains all the dragons just flying around, like the dragon Aerie. Where is that final grace before the boss? Here is why this is such a lovely sight of grace. It is right near the boss. Before we go do that boss, I'm gonna head back to Roundtable Hold and do some last minute upgrades real quick. Be right back. Okay, we are ready to confront this abomination of game design. For real, this is my least favorite fight in the game by far. It's a trash fire of a fight. It is such complete garbage. Before we head in, I'm gonna craft an extra couple of sleep pots on top of the soporific grease that we have that will induce sleep. All of that was a surprise tool that will help us right now. This ghastly ass fight. The Godskin Duo! We fought a Godskin Noble, we fought a few Godskin Apostles. Now let's fight them both together in a manner that they were clearly never designed to be fought. And you know my rule of thumb? If the boss gets an extra friend, so do I. Or if we fought it before, I don't mind summoning. And this one checks both of those off. Plus, I hate it. It's abominable. Ooh, this fight sucks. Such a piece of shit fight. I hate it. But we even have the benefit of Dolores, the sleeping arrow puppet. So we have all the sleep we could ever need. They are very weak to it. And I have to imagine it's the way this fight is designed to be controlled. Because they do not fight like Ornstein and Smo. This is not a well-designed, deliberate duo fight. This is two bosses shoved together in a room that don't work together at all. It sucks. The nice thing, though, they are very weak to sleep, and it's easy to re-proc on them. So normally, when you proc a status effect on a boss, come on, yeah, good. It gets progressively harder to keep proccing it, to reapply it. It's usually something like a small jump, a big jump, and then a huge jump. Like these, if you want to proc Frostbite on them, you need to deal 345 frost the first time, and that's like 450, then 700, and then 1200. And then it stops going up after that. Presumably, anyway. If you proc Frostbite 4 times on a boss and it doesn't die, something's kind of wrong regardless. Now we get to the hairy part of the fight. Of course, we need to get behind a pillar before healing because they'll instantly see that input and do something about it. Anyway, the build-up numbers for this, for sleep, are 250, 290, 390, and like 700. So a low amount all around. The first jump's also almost non-existent. So as you may have noticed by now, the bosses have individual health bars, and damage to them contributes to the shared one. This matters for a reason that sucks. Because more will keep spawning in until that overall health bar is depleted. So ideally, you want to keep at least one left at all times if possible. Dolores is not contributing to that very much right now. And the thing that makes this suck so much, that differentiates them from Ornstein and Smo, for instance, so badly, is that these are not designed as a singular boss fight. They're two individual boss fights in one room, and they behave like it, with overlapping attacks and everything. They behave similarly. They move similarly quickly. The large one is way more alive than you would expect. And his range is just ridiculous. Thankfully, this is done with minimal problems, though. I truly, truly cannot overstate enough how much I despise this fight. And how rough this is if you're doing this without a summon, and if you're doing this without abusing his sleep. It sucks. It's not a good fight. I'm gonna rant about it more because I hate this fight so much, but that'll be next time. Oh, I have so many thoughts to unpack on this. Boggles my mind that this fight exists in the form it does, because FromSoft has done this exact type of fight well so many times, but there's always one like this that's done horribly. Anyway, thank you all for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.